Hello and welcome back to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah and today I'm doing a reading for the sign of Aquarius for the month of November. I hope everyone is doing well today. Please remember that this is a general reading. There may be some parts that do not resonate with you. Please only take the parts that do resonate and leave the rest behind. You may also want to check out your other signs as well. I've already meditated on the cards. I've already shuffled the cards, and this is a spread that I have for you today. Dear Aquarius, in the past position we have the King of Pentacles, which is clarified by the Magician. In the obstacle position we have the Five of Swords, clarified by the Seven of Cups. In the present position we've got the Moon, clarified by the Five of Wands. And in the future outcome position we've got the Fool, clarified by the Seven of Swords. It's really wonderful to have the King of Pentacles. I really enjoy having a King of Pentacles in a reading. It's a really positive card. Pentacles generally suggest a very good omen for the financial side of things. So definitely suggest that in the past there was some sort of a stable situation, which allowed you to progress forward. It's definitely kind of a balance. The Pentacles are a bit of a balance between pleasure and pain, between putting in the hard work and receiving the reward for that hard work. So definitely you are very good, and you have proven yourself to achieve through kind of putting in the effort, putting in the time, putting in the energy in order to be, really successful at something. And of course, the King of Pentacles, sometimes we receive it in the past position as a reminder to us how strong we really are and how much we've actually gained over the last 5 years, and as far as experience, as far as knowledge. I mean, it's just like progress that is tremendous. And of course that is clarified by the Magician, which is a really powerful architect card. The Magician is a really good communicator, but he's also very powerful in terms of he's got power over the four suits. So he's got a pentacle on a stable, a cup, a wand, and a sword. He's definitely someone who is able to create, to manifest, to come up with original ideas, to be resourceful, and definitely kind of recognize and pursue opportunities, create opportunities even. So very powerful combination here with the King of Pentacles that suggests that you've built a really amazing foundation that has helped you kind of get through the tough times, whether it's your own faith in yourself, and just being optimistic and enthusiastic. That takes stability on the inside, that takes security on the inside. Sometimes people are just able to be kind of thrifty and resourceful and come out on top. Definitely, it speaks to your amazing skills and your know-how as well. In the present position, we've got the Five of Swords clarified by the Seven of Cups. The Five of Swords is not as powerful as like a major arcana card, but it's definitely a bit of an unpleasant bump in the road in the month of November, dear Aquarius. The Five of Swords is, when it appears in the negative position, in the obstacle position, it could be that you're starting to realize that winning perhaps isn't everything, meaning that perhaps being right is not as important at times as peace, because you start to realize that energy is limited. We all have limitations, so sometimes it's important to let things go and let kind of not have to fight necessarily every battle. Sometimes the Five of Swords could also kind of hold you accountable, or at least some of you accountable, for the actions that you've done in the past. But generally in the obstacle position, the Five of Swords kind of minimizes its negative aspects. So there is a tendency to move towards perhaps a peaceful resolution, perhaps, a compromise, or maybe even just to consider a compromise with another person, sort of, because, the Five of Swords is a card of conflict. There are several people in this card, suggesting that this conflict may be with other people, perhaps some family members, partners or friends or people at work. And of course, it's clarified by the Seven of Cups, which suggests to me, especially in the obstacle position, that you could be a little bit confused, not really sure what course of action to take, and be a little bit disoriented. Of course, there's an element of fear and anxiety that may come with the Seven of Cups as well. I mean, the combination here, the Five of Swords and Seven of Cups, could be for some of you feeling a little bit down and just, not your perky self, not kind of maybe feeling down based on some low vibration energy that could be around you coming from other people, or a situation that sort of didn't go as planned. But there is a little bit of negativity here with the Five of Swords. Swords, as you know, is a suit of challenges. So every time you see swords, there may be a gain that you will be getting, but there's also going to be a cost associated with that. And sometimes also for some people, especially, it could be that there are people kind of behind you that maybe are not saying nice things about you, because swords also can represent words. And of course, usually with swords, because that's the tool for communication, it could be a little bit unpleasant. It could be that you're sort of being argumentative with someone over really nothing, just to be argumentative with someone. Maybe there's some kind of resentment that's set in or something that hasn't been cleared out. And definitely next to the moon, it could be that you have a little bit of repressed emotions. Maybe you, for a while, have been going with the flow rather than voicing things that you may disagree. And so that may have created a little bit of repressed emotions that are kind of keeping you a little bit, blocked up, if you will. The combination to me mostly speaks that there may be a loose end somewhere. When I say loose end, for me, it means it could be that somehow, some way you slighted someone, or perhaps there was a situation in which you slighted someone without really knowing that you did. But, with the cups and the swords suggest to me that there are hurt feelings somewhere, and they're coming from someone as a result, perhaps of an argument, or as a result, perhaps, of people doing different things when they agreed to do something else. So there's a little bit of like hurt feelings coming here, and it could be that you inadvertently kind of caused those. So definitely reevaluate some of your partnerships or your friendships, or your love relationship, and make sure that you are kind of willing to at least have an open mind and be able to hear others. Not necessarily, just because you're listening to someone's opinion does not mean you have to make it your own. There's, it's important to see sometimes other people's opinions, because it kind of helps you make a decision overall. Definitely the Five of Swords here create a little bit of a confusion in your kind of relationships with other people a little bit. And of course, the moon in the present position definitely suggests that there's something hidden from you, because of course at night you cannot see really well. The moon always has some sort of an element of secrecy, and so everyone always advises to follow your intuition when you have the moon card. Don't engage in risky behavior. Don't do something that, this is not the time to do something that is not well planned out and thoroughly planned out. Although sometimes the moon is a signal that you may do something that is unexpected, because you may be propelled a little bit by fear and anxiety. You must remember that we are in Scorpio season. Now, Scorpio is about two things that, come to mind first, and that is power, receiving power or losing power or using power to gain advantage or to gain disadvantage. Power can be used for many different things. Scorpios also stand for death. But what is death? And is there really death? Because many people believe that death is actually transitioning from one state of being into another state of being. And actually, many different cultures have many different ways of looking at, death, and honoring the dead and remembering them and everything. So it's actually quite fascinating. But definitely when you see the moon, it's all about your subconscious and sometimes repressed emotions, not really being super confident, maybe being a little bit insecure, being kind of deciding, because we've got these two towers in this card. One tower stands for truth, one tower stands for lies. So it's kind of like you are walking in between them. It's up to you to decide, are you willing to cut corners? Are you willing to use truth to your advantage, or are you willing to use lie to your advantage? Usually when we see the moon in our reading, the number one thing that it always stands out to me, it kind of reminds us that our reality is what we believe it to be. Seeing is believing, right? So what we see, not through our like eyes, eyeballs, but what we see with our mind, the way we shape our reality is, that's our limitation. So for example, what I'm trying to say is that if like, to you, seeing, for example, making, I don't know, $100 an hour, to you that's like an understanding of success, like you see yourself as successful, then that is your reality, right? Or maybe like having, a home with, two children and a dog and a spouse, for you, if you see that as successful reality, then that is your reality, you see kind of what your inside sees, what your internal side of you sees, and you decide what that reality is. And so of course the moon sort of reminds us that, think about illusions, think about dreams, think about, different perspectives. All those things affect how you see your reality. And sometimes, what you think is reality is not actually reality. So it could be that you can have a bigger home or a bigger salary or a bigger, you know what I mean? So definitely, you may be creating a limitation on your own, rather than sort of seeing more. I hope that made sense. If it didn't, I apologize. The Five of Wands is all about, a little bit of conflict, and sometimes it's also kind of being competitive, and that is what I see here, that in the Scorpio season, sometimes many of us experience upheavals, if you will, things that are kind of coming to an end and beginning. And this is what's happening in this reading, that there may be something that you are unhappy with and you are addressing. There may be some competition that is going on, but you're continuing on this new beginning. Something is coming to an end, and a new cycle is beginning, because you've got the Fool here, of course clarified by the Seven of Swords. The Fool is a major arcana card, definitely a very powerful card, definitely brings about a new beginning. You're going to start to really feel it towards the end of November and beginning of December, and I think that towards the end of December is when you're going to start feeling really powerful. The month of January is going to be an amazing month for you. I already promise you that. I absolutely promise you it's going to be an amazing time. So, there are a little bit of last kind of conflicts that are happening, and they may seem a little bit of annoying and a little bit disappointing, but you're almost at the new beginning. Things are looking up for you. Things are changing in your favor. They're being, amazing for you, even though it may not feel that way right now. The Seven of Swords as a clarifier is definitely not, the best clarifier to have, because it suggests that there may be a little bit of deceit happening. There may be a little bit of sneakiness happening, but it's actually not as bad. If you keep your eyes open, if you're able to kind of be cautious, then you're going to avoid many different pitfalls. Definitely there is a lot you may not know, but you're going to learn it as you go and be incredibly successful. The Seven of Swords is in the clarifying position, and swords are air element. They don't last very long, so definitely the Fool is an incredible influence because it's a major arcana card, and the Seven of Swords is a little bit of a bumpy kind of a road in the beginning, yes, but it's gonna be much better as the 2021 kind of continues going on. It's gonna be your year, very much so. You're gonna have amazing progress during that year, and you're gonna be a lot more happier. Let's see what we can clarify with the 3 energy oracle cards that I pulled, and they are, if I can reach them, we've got Rest and Rejuvenation, Door to Personal Healing and Happiness, and Man Holding a Heart. A man holding a heart is all about dealing with family and love, definitely dealing with emotions. This tender man sits with flowers all around, holding a heart in his hand. For a man, this signals a greater clarity about emotions and purpose in life. There could be more balanced approach to family and love at this time, even if these have been confusing experiences. For you, they will become much easier. For some, this card upright could signal the presence of a new man in your life, one who tends to be more thoughtful and aware. Whether or not this man is a love interest or a friend, he brings a high intention to help where personal projects, family, or home is concerned. So definitely you're going to have some support coming in the month of November. Now the door to personal healing and happiness is all about new beginnings, which of course relates to the Fool. Definitely you're going to have changes that are going to be coming into your life, and they're going to bring about results, very much with like the King of Pentacles, which is all about efforts and results. You're going to see finally some results coming in. The one thing is, and there's going to be a really good message coming in, but the one thing with the rainbow here is, sometimes rainbows come after a bit of a dark cloud, if you will. So, during the month of November, there's going to be a little bit of unpleasantness, but you will overcome it. It is nothing that is going to stop you in the tracks. I think it's going to influence you and kind of help you make a decision, sort of make things a little bit easier for you, because you already deep down know the answer. The Rest and Rejuvenation card shows a man in a meditative and tranquil state. The message here is that it's time to relax. You may have been busy, especially lately, but it's important to find the time to let go. This card indicates that there should be more leisure time for you and more opportunity to engage in peaceful thinking. So make it a priority. Your connection to spirit brings great assistance, but it can only be achieved through regular relaxation and meditation. So definitely the divine here is suggesting you maybe veering, of course, if you're not meditating, if you're not clearing your home of low vibration energy, clearing your home of negativity. Remember that each day should begin with attitude of gratitude. It kind of helps you get through the day. Sometimes days are easier, sometimes days are a little bit more challenging. So let's see what the 3 answers from angels we received. I also pulled 3 cards from answers from angels, and they are improving health, no need to worry, and opportunity. Definitely things are, the moon sometimes makes people worry because it's a little bit of unknown. It's a little bit of like not feeling sure of the outcome, but the divine here suggests everything is going to turn out in your favor. You're going to do just fine. Challenges, yes, they are a part of life. They make us stronger. They make us more efficient. They help us deal with, even more complex problems. They make us help others deal with complex problems as well. And it's a great omen from the divine saying that, your health is going to hold, which is great. Through this pandemic crisis, you're going to do well. And make sure that you keep an eye out for different opportunities that may come your way. I hope you enjoyed this reading, Aquarius, for the month of November. It looks absolutely wonderful. I know you've had some tough readings in the past, so it's really nice to see, that one cycle is finishing and another one is beginning, and it's going to be an amazing time, especially the month of January and February. You're going to have phenomenal progress. Again, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for visiting my channel, and I will see you next time.